Okay, we're back with Mr. McConnell, Mayor McConnell. He's, like I said, we're very grateful that he's able to sit down with us and that he's very willing to reach out to all of us using all of Vallejo's platforms. I mean, like, we're a very lucky city to have so many platforms for this mayor and the next mayor coming to be able to use to reach out to us. We were just discussing off air about what was it? Location sites.
Uh, Obviously, Vallejo is already on the map as far as location scouting, which is a term used for production of film, motion pictures, and television. Of course, they need good locations, and Vallejo fills in a lot of gaps. Right here in our little lonely area of the North Bay, we got so many places that are spot on, cool. Of course, a lot of big time productions do come here. They already know about it. We want to make sure Vallejo is kept in those little phone books of these Hollywood location scouters. We definitely want them to know about it still.
So, Mr.
So,
McConnell,
yeah.
you were saying something about how we could do that, how to keep Vallejo on the map to be used by Hollywood,
Indeed
and
so. A few years back, there was a Volkswagen ad shot here in town about a couple driving their Volkswagen convertible in Anchorage, Alaska. And it was about grizzly bears that they brought in. And they were using the intersection of Georgia and Sonoma. They said it looked like a place in Anchorage. And I happened to be speaking with the location scout who booked the commercial. He said, Vallejo, you're really missing the boat here because you have so many locations that would fit into a time capsule approach for filming what somebody needs. I happened to stumble across this just because I was driving through town the other day and it met the needs of my Volkswagen client. But what you really need, and what you should have, is on your city webpage, you should have a location gallery of where filming can take place. And you can show the things on Mare Island. You can show the new parts of town, the old parts of town. It's just a magnificent place to shoot commercials and even short stories, but we don't have that. And while we all would love to have it, it's one of those things where a city has to make it a priority, which has not been in the past. It wouldn't be that expensive or that difficult to push it, but we've had so many other big pressing issues that we unfortunately haven't gotten to it. But that can be a large source of revenue. I mean, we've had Film Mare Island that shot several seasons here. They were very successful, but they couldn't come to terms with their landlord. There was some concern about the city, and we need to get everybody sitting down at the same table because the film industry produces tons of jobs. If you ever saw it at the end of a film and watched the credits roll, they go on for 5 minutes, name after name after name. Well, that's a lot of money. And if we could bring even a small portion of that money to Vallejo, we're going to be miles ahead. So I'm really a big believer in tapping into the film industry, to the TV industry, anything where, say, people are going to come with a camera, bring in people, bring in vendors, bring in performers. It's just a natural for us to do, and we're not doing it. We really need to do it, but more than having the city government do it, because the city can't do everything, maybe we need to create a Vallejo Foundation like they do in Monterey, where the Monterey Foundation runs the jazz festival. Get the government out of the problem, because government sometimes can mess things up, let's face it. And if we can create a Vallejo Foundation that could promote this, hey, Vallejo as a city is there to help too. So
wow.
it's natural again, I think, but we've got to make it work.
And this is something that you would definitely back on. Like let's do it because the revenue.
The revenue.
Yeah, the revenue.
We're interested in ideas into actions for taxable revenue, more jobs, zoning places to ensure that there's trade. Even that was an idea I brought up, but the idea to explore these viable options because there's not much further we can go.
You're very right, but we have to have citizen involvement. You cannot have 7 people on the city council and a city manager's office with 8 people in it to do it. There's just not enough people to work that many hours per day. It's got to be put forward by the citizens, I think, and that's where creating the Vallejo Foundation, a private nonprofit, comes in.
That's awesome. Well, let's end with the interview with this last question because you said you were saying you have a Zoom meeting actually coming up that has to pertain to actually the preserve and all that.
Well, the Flyway Festival. Myrna Hayes has been promoting that for years, and I've always been a big supporter of it. She's asked me to do a little cameo, and they open it this afternoon, so I'm going to do so.
Oh, that's awesome. So let's end with this as something that actually one of the meetings where I was introduced to you and saw how you operate as a council member. They brought up Vallejo Net, which it has to do with the internet in Vallejo and bettering our speeds and
taxable revenue.
Well, that is the Vallejo fiber optic. Years ago, when the traffic engineers put in all these light signals around, they also put in the conduit, which is the tube that fiber optic goes through underneath the streets. Everywhere you see a light signal in this city, there is a fiber conduit underneath the pavement there. And of course, that can bring in the extremely high-speed, fast network that maybe I don't need here in my law office, because AT&T is okay for that. But that's what some of these heavy data-driven businesses really need. There's a gentleman here in town who's thinking about trying to bring in a call center that would have probably 300-400 jobs, and he wants to bring it downtown. That'd be a fantastic thing to have happen. But if he has that availability of that high-speed fiber network at an affordable and proper price, it's even more appealing. And guess what? Some of those jobs he's told me the other day, they're going to come from Texas. Now that's a real plus.
Wow, how much more funding, or what do we need to make it to where we could be able to offer opportunity, to bring in opportunity, these jobs? Like what do we need to make it complete, like to where we could use it? Or where are we at in it?
Well, I met with the factory OS owners the other day, and although they didn't say it directly, one of the things they would like to have out of city government is certainty and speed. They want to know that they can get their proposals accepted, and they want to know why it's going to get accepted, and they want it to happen as fast as possible. So to the extent we can design our system to provide those two essential requirements of a business, we enhance our reputation. As it is now, we have a reputation that we're hard to work with, that is too slow, that is too demanding. Somebody was telling me the other day about a person who's developing a fourplex on Broadway. He's from out of town, and he said after dealing with our city, he would never come back here ever again. We need to put that reputation to bed, and we're working on it. We absolutely are, and we've done a lot of good things about getting it better, but we still got a lot of work to do.
Okay, Dr. G, do you have anything you'd like to add before we shut it down?
Man, we're not going to shut it down. Vallejo just keeps rising up. All of us are stakeholders in the community, and no matter who we are, we got to make our lives better. And the only way we can make it better is by staying involved. The office of the mayor wants us all to be involved. Your ideas count. Your knowledge of your own community is valid in his office, and we loved our time here. Thank you very much, Mayor.
Well, thank you very much, Dr. T, and I'll try to emulate that fantastic radio voice you have. It is so wonderful to listen to.
Mr. McConnell. Oh, Mr. McConnell's got to get going. He is definitely involved, and I appreciate you allowing me to be involved with you, sir. And I look forward to meeting up with you again to continue with the social media stuff. And I look forward to everything you're getting involved with. Thank you.
My pleasure. I'm going to fly away to the Flyaway Festival. So for all of you out there, check it out this weekend. It's a fantastic event.
Hell yeah. Hashtag Vallejo Strong.